So this was a nice bright 82, rather nice little XY axis, and it looks like a little trade token, or farming token. Yeah, there are markings. I don't know whether you can make them out or not in the bright sunshine, but yeah, probably maybe farming token, trade token. Yeah, it'll probably dry out and reveal some more detail. Promising start. On to the next one.
Must be in a sharp room.
So there's a rather interesting one up for Chris, if I can see if I'm focused or not. There we go. There seems to be markings on it, but that is an interesting. It looks old. Excuse me. That's very interesting, Chris.
It's going to take someone smarter than me to work out what it is.
Yeah. Maybe reveal more detail when it cleans out a bit or dries out. Interesting piece. So just up for Mel, a really nice wee piece here. What era do you think it's from? You have a wee look on Google Images.
I think it's Viking age.
Could be a wee Viking whetstone, because when we Google lensed it, we have an exact match for it, and that's what it's coming up as.
Do you want to see it?
Show me that there. I don't know if I can see this here now. So there it is. If I set that there and put Mel's beside it, we have an exact, we have an exact match.
Unbelievable.
And the Viking Whetstone pendant. Mate, you must be happy with that.
I am buzzing.
Granny Aunt Marie's going to be happy with you, boy.
You're
Granny
right.
Aunt Marie, he put me up to that. He put me up to that. He's a bad.
Hello, Granny.
Well done, Mel. That's a cracker, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Mel's on the Viking.
I'm buzzing. That's my day sorted now.
So shortly after Mel got his little Viking Whetstone pendant, look what has come up.
What are you on to do?
I actually thought this was a bit of nail or a little stylus, but that's looking to me like another little awl. It's certainly, although it's very small, it has that nice squared off centre for holding, and then pointed, flanged at each end. Absolutely buzzing. What a little beauty. And it's not too far away actually where Mel got his little leather awl. What an absolute cracker. Absolutely stoked for this one. What a little beauty. Wasn't the best of signals. It was a bit of a sort of a scratchy signal, and it was 60s. Maybe because it was, I would say probably about 7 or 8 inches. So it was deepish, but not the Earth's core type deep, but came out just looked like a wee bit of metal until it got wiped the dirt and muck off it, which was easy enough done. It was stuck in a sod. Where's the sod? Because there was a bit of an imprint, so it was, but it cracked open. But that's rather nice. Definitely think it's an awl, Bronze Age awl. I don't think it's a stylus. And we Google Earthed. Google pictures of it, and yes, they are this small. So that would have been used, pierce little holes in animal skins, leatherworking, for sewing bits and pieces together to make garments. Absolutely buzzing. I'd take this over your hammered any day. Very tiny. On to the next one. There's a couple of nice wee finds up for Chris. This here now, it looks lead, it looks old white lead, and it's sort of fashioned at both ends into sort of a little, almost like a little, you would nearly think a woodworking tool of some sort. Not sure, but the way it seems to be deliberately pointed at each end. It's nice, sort of a flat flange on the sides of it. Then it tapers into a nice sort of a point on either side. I don't know, it could be a Victorian nose picker or arse scratcher, you wouldn't know. But yeah, I definitely think that is something. Owen Brown's usually the man who comes up with this sort of obscure descriptions of things. And shortly before he got that, he got a lovely little high barn. You said that was a surface find, this one here?
Flat on the top.
Absolute cracker. Let's see if I can get you around. Looks like George II, so late 1700s. I'm not even sure if that's in focus because I can't see with the sunlight, but there's a nice definition of the harp and crown there. If I can get it around the right shape, around the right way. Yeah, there's a nice harp and crown there, and that'll be nice when it dries out, Chris. You can see the bust of George II or George III there.
You can tell by what way he's facing too, can't you?
Surface find, yeah. I always get the two of them mixed up. One faces left, one faces right. One's second, one's a third. Pretty good condition. Nice one, mate. Well done. So a wee bit of a wispy signal with this one here, and we are rewarded with a little sixpence. I think it's a little sixpence. Did we have a wee look? See? Yep, little sixpence, and it's a. Sorry, I should be keeping you in frame. Can't even see that. George V, and we are 1923. Yep, we'll take that. Another silver. What's keeping you, Dana? That is rather nice. I must just say that after reviewing Chris's find earlier on of the white sort of banana shaped arse picker, arse scratcher yoke that he found, turns out it's a post-medieval or post-medieval stylus used for a bit of lead working or pottery work. So quite a nice little find for Chris up there. Sort of was in the right sort of ballpark with arse picker. Nice one, Chris, anyway. But yep, take these wee silvers all day, every day. Another wee sixpence for the collection. Oop, just lost it. On to the next one. So this was a rather nice little signal here. And it wasn't that deep, it was almost nearly a surface find, but it was still buried, a couple of inches anyway. And looks like we have a nice little spectacle buckle. Yep. That is rather nice. That would probably be on a little leather purse. And then the wee drawstrings would have been on either side of it. So a little pouch, little purse. They would have kept all their hammered coins, maybe. But I'll have a wee look around here. You never know. Probably a leather purse. If it was really old, it could be, I don't know, sheep's, pig's bladder purse, or I don't know. I'm talking in the realms of fantasy now, but yeah, that's a rather nice little spectacle buckle. Don't see any design on it, but might reveal a design when it starts to dry out a little bit. But rather pleased with that. That's as nice as that. All day, every day, twice on a Sunday with these. Beautiful wee piece too. Not sure the date. That probably Victorian. Be really lucky if it was earlier still. But yeah, nice little spectacle buckle. On the next one. So this was a rather loud signal here, and it's looks like a sort of a lead lozenge type thing, and I start to see designs and shapes and wee faces and bloody cow pats, for goodness sake. So if I was saying this was decorated, it would be a stretch, but it's pretty weighty, so I said probably a bit of lead, something. don't think it's silver. Maybe a wee bit too heavy for silver. Maybe a bit of hex silver, but it's not silver. But it has a form to it, almost sort of a rectangular type lozenge. But I do think it's lead. Interesting enough little piece. Who knows? But I have learned not to throw stuff like this out or stick it in the hedge. You just never know. Maybe I'm not that experienced with artifacts, medieval or etc. I'll just hold on to it. On the next one. So here's quite an interesting one here. It's giving me a really good signal, and I think possibly it's part of a really old ring. You can see the side there, and if I just put it onto a finger and see, oh, I dropped the bloody thing. It's not. Let me see. Yeah. So up there could be the side. Let me get you into focus. That could be the side of the ring, and then it is starting to curve around. It be a circular sort of a piece. Now I don't see any design on it at the minute. Probably not likely to. They're a crude sort of a ring. That would have went round obviously underneath. No initials on her light, like sort of Dear Bob or Hi Mum. But yes, I would say, yeah, well, I see I'm always overly enthusiastic about finds, you know, but it definitely looks like a part of a ring. Has that curve and it fits on my finger. I dropped it again. Let's see if I can do this here with one hand while balancing the camera. So set it on my pinky finger, and you can sort of see how that would, if you imagine it go on round and then the clasp underneath. Interesting piece. I'm sure maybe some of you will know for definite, but I'll go for part of a ring on the next one. So up for Chris is another interesting little artifact, like a fleur-de-lis design. Probably something that has come off something bigger. A very interesting little piece. Extremely interesting. What would you say it was made of? Is it lead or like sort of a...
Came in just like a silvery signal, but I know it's not silver, but it wasn't lead.
Yeah, some sort of metal. That's class. That's definitely like the sort of fleur-de-lis ornate type design. Interesting. What about Dana? Is she anything interesting up?
No, not having the most luck.
She needs to get on the legacy on that desk. Nice one. Right, so Dana has had a nice little bit of luck in the last couple of holes. So I'll start with this lovely big coin, which is what did you say it was?
Half crown, George VI.
George V, is that?
No, George VI, VI.
Oh, VI, sorry, yeah, V1. George VI, half crown. Very nice indeed.
We 50%.
Some nice black patina on that one. Very nice. This here's a little mystery piece here. There doesn't appear to be any markings on a shank or anything. It is very, very thin, and you would almost think there's a design on. There's a design on both sides. Maybe when it dries out a wee bit better, we'll see.
You can definitely see some concentric rings on one side.
Yep, definitely do. You nearly think that was a little hammered, wouldn't you?
You would know.
But here's an absolute beezer here. Lovely little gold-gilded watch winder with the gold gilt inlay inside it. That is absolutely beautiful.
And I kind of class that as my first gold find.
Yeah, well, if you want to go ahead and do the gold dance, I don't mind.
I'll save the gold dance for the real gold.
That is an absolute beautiful little piece of social history. If I was dating that, I'd probably say Victorian or Georgian, Victorian, that sort of era.
It's actually the first watch item that I found to do with a watch.
That is absolutely beautiful. I love those. Those are really nice social history.
Yeah.
It's those there and the wee tobacco tin lid holders. I love those. I love finding those. But these are, they're not rare, but you're not finding them every day. You know what I mean? These here wee watch winders, they really are nice. But that, I would say, in its day, was a really lovely wee one. With all the gold gilt in it. You can see some of the gold inside it. Cracker, well done.
Thank you very much.
Nice one.
Keep her lit.
Keep her lit.
Hey, Granny's waiting for a shout out.
Who's waiting for a shout out?
Granny.
Granny Anne Marie or Granny Marie?
Granny Anne Marie.
Granny Anne Marie. Granny Anne Marie, he's a bad un. He's a bad un.
I'm sure she knows already.
There's a nicely found up Fermel there. A very ornate piece. Silver coloured, but I don't think it's a bit of weight to it. It's not lead. Not sure what that is. That's the back of it. Rather ornate. Maybe a furniture fixture of some sort. Rather grandiose looking. Nice one. Very nice indeed. Is that a... It almost looks like a pineapple, do you know that? There you have the top of the pineapple and you have the bottom leafy bit. It looks like a pineapple. As Dana said, funny enough, earlier on, she thinks the Victorians liked pineapples. They were quite a sought after item in the Victorian times. Geez, they must have liked them a lot to put them onto their their furniture fittings and fixtures. Nice one. So, lovely bright 86, and we got ourselves a beautiful big George V penny. You can just see the date there, 1918? 1918, and lovely detail on both sides. It really has that nice green patina. George V, a non-toasted one. Most of the coins coming out, I haven't even videoed them. They've been pretty toasty. Probably little Hibernians that are the worse for wear in the ground for all those years, but that is an absolute beauty. That's going to come up nice. We'll take it. What a cracker. So just up for Mel there, you get part of a lovely shoe buckle, probably Georgian shoe buckles, a wee bit broken off it. I wonder did he break that himself and then let on. That's only mate does that sort of thing. Nice one, Mel. Yeah, a few wee bits and pieces coming off this field. We've actually moved about 3 fields from the original one, but still wee bits and pieces coming up. Very good. On the next one.
I found a couple of buttons. Be something or other.
I'm about to say that t-shirt, that's a bit fucking gay, but
I know.
is that yours, is it?
I actually stole this off a friend. He's in exile in Australia.
Alright.
He goes by the name of CMAC, so I don't
All
really,
right.
I don't really want to even show it.
You stole his gay t-shirt.
I did.
Right. These are the younger brothers here. He must be on with the girlfriend here.
Oh, you have with a girlfriend, in fact. Hey, can I have that wee bit of tinfoil?
You may.
Cheers.
I don't think it is silver, but Oh, you dirty bastard!